And the biggest story here: adulterated petrol. FG may return fuel to suppliers. 100 million litres affected, say marketers. The riders: fuel shortage. Queue may last till weekend, say marketers. NNPC increases supply to bridge supply gap. Recalls polluted fuel. Page 20 story for the Punch newspapers this morning. And just beneath that story, photos there, of course, photos of filling station, how busy and rowdy they've become in the last couple of days. Petrol queues.
Ipman, the independent petroleum marketer, said yesterday that this will end today, and that Nigerians should be wary and cautious of panic buying. But another group is now saying to end at the weekend. There are different stories, and all of these different stories are coming out because of the incompetence of the NNPC on the one hand and the government agents in charge of this. The Nigerian midstream and and downstream petroleum regulatory agency is the new government agency in charge of this.
NMDPR.
Yeah, that's their name. After the PIA, they became law and they were created. They met three government agencies together. The DPR, which usually this was their work, Department of Petroleum Resources, the PPPRA, the Pricing and Regulatory Agency, and then the Petroleum Equalization Fund. I think that one was not, but they added the three of them together formed the Nigerian midstream. This is supposed to be their job, and they're supposed to be an arm of the bigger NNPC, But they took time, because I'm hearing that this even started, petrol station owners saying this started on the 2nd of February. That was when they began to receive the first complaints by customers that the petrol we're buying is killing our cars. The petrol looks and behaves like it's adulterated. So it wasn't even of last weekend. Last weekend was the 5th and the 6th. So it was earlier before this happened. But it was last weekend that began to became public knowledge in Lagos, for instance, that they are accused because petrol NATO have withdrawn their trucks on the one hand, and petrol stations are not selling because they are trying to recall what looks like bad petrol. And that video made the rounds of the lady who went back to a petrol station to shout that they sold that water. Of course, not knowing
that's how they came to light.
Adulterated fuel. And for all of this period, the government did not utter a word. They left it to the speculations and conjectures of you and I to decide and determine perhaps what is going on. Until yesterday, these midstream agencies issued a very short statement, not very explanatory. What they said was that there was some petrol, limited liters, that's what they use, limited liters of petrol in circulation with high methanol content, which is not the specification for Nigeria, and that there are efforts to recall them, and that it is not public. The impression they give. But what I'm hearing and reading now in some papers, this newspaper today has it that it is not 100 million litres, it is 371 million litres. And that President Buhari is so embarrassed that he has asked Petroleum Minister, his junior minister, Dimitri Silva, to issue a query to the CEO of that midstream agency.
Because the sad thing about this is, for a very long time, we've never had to witness a situation where, people will queue up at filling stations, it's been quite a long time.
And I think it's even more prevalent in Abuja. In Lagos here, you can dodge the petrol stations if you're not on your route, But in Abuja, it happens everywhere. It's everywhere. So it's not prevalent, and they can't see it there. And it took a long time for this agency to even explain to Nigerians. What people have been saying is Ipman. Ipman does not bring 1 litre of petrol into this country. One. The NNPC is the sole importer, the only importer of petrol into Nigeria today. Has been so for a while. Moorman, Ipman, all of this petroleum, these that they manage to bring in small quantities. It is the NNPC that brings. So there's a big question, and this debate continued started 2 days ago when somebody wrote on Twitter to me and says, "Where's the QAQC department?
Quality assurance control.
The departments of the importer. Or do you just import? Because petrol are not the same. You can import petrol meant for Czechoslovakia, the one that have big engine. You don't knock it. If you bring it to
Lagos
with our small engine, in fact, I'm sure I've not bought petrol since. I'm sure that there's one car I have. If you put this petrol, the engine must knock.
Don't try it.
I'm sure. You know, I'm sure because that car is intolerant of everything, including rain. Small rain like this, giving anyhow. Talk less of bad petrol. You know, so we have specifications in this country. I told you yesterday that most of the petrol here is unleaded fuel. You know, but here there's the other report we had before the NNPC came out yesterday was that high sulfur content. You know, I leave that for the chemical engineers to explain to me what high sulfur content means.
Send it in if you're a chemical engineer out there.
But this statement by the government yesterday is now saying it has a high level of methanol. That petrol must have methanol, but this one has high levels of methanol. And methanol, I think it's not methanol, it's alcohol. You know, so they put the go inside petrol. You know, and that this one is higher than the specification for Nigeria, and that is what's causing the problem. You know, but I think the embarrassment has already happened, and people should queries should be answered. Really, you know, there's a plan to recall all the petrol, and then of course, according to IPMAN, new stocks have arrived, and they're trying to distribute new stocks, but clear out the old stock first, the adulterated one first. So it's a cumbersome logistic exercise that will take days. You know, so we'll still buy petrol in the black market for a few days, or queue up for long hours, or suffer the scarcity. You know, and now yesterday NEPA did not do that at all, so we ran generators. But we have to buy fuel. I don't know the one we'll buy now.
Just take a bottle to let them sell in the bottle first.
It looks like what I don't buy.
Exactly.
Did you enjoy this video? Hit the subscribe button for more, leave a comment and like. Thank you.